to mute their mute their computers while we are on the presentation. What we'll do is we'll go through our presentations, we'll do some introductions, we'll go through our presentation, and then we want to save enough time for questions and answers. I just want to thank everyone that has attended. We're going to be recording this session as well. I believe the recording has already started. Again, I'm Zola Stewart. I'm with Turner Construction out of the Community and Citizenship Department, and we have the responsibility for outreach to diverse businesses to obtain their participation and their partnerships on our ventures, on our construction ventures. I also have my colleague, Patrick Jones here, and there'll be some contact information. I'm the one that sends out all the meeting invites and so forth, but we are your first line when it comes to dealing with Turner. And, you know, if you have any questions, we're happy to help and assist you in any way. I am going to turn this over to our wonderful procurement manager, Kelsey Ellis, who is phenomenal. And she's going to then introduce the rest of the team as well, and then take us through the presentation.
Hi, everyone. Like Zola said, I'm Kelsey Ellis. I'm the procurement manager for Turner here in Chicago. On the call with us today, we have some of the project team as well. Brian Driscoll, who is our project manager for the project. Richard Ock, who is our project executive. Jose Anaya, who is, I think, our intern, correct, for the project. Cyan Baker, who is the engineer for the project. And then Faith Hardy, who's also my intern in the procurement department for this summer, who's going to be listening in. So myself and the project team are going to take you through this presentation. So again, welcome to this outreach meeting. This is if you attended our outreach back in March, we do have some updates. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. Hopefully we can answer all of your questions about this project. So high level, this project is located up in Waukegan. We'll go through some site logistics in a minute, but first I wanted to go through what the diversity and inclusion goals are for this project. So there is a local resident goal of employment of 50% for the project in total. We're also looking for a 50% local business utilization within Waukegan and the Lake County area. There's a 5% WBE goal, 25% MBE, 3% VBE, and then a 2% DBE, meaning person with disability, or a business owned by a person with a disability. These are goals for the project. They can be obtained at the prime level or through your sub tiers. So if you're on the call and you're interested in the prime work, we'll definitely work with you in helping you partner with local WB, MB, VB, and DB participation. Or if you are a sub tier to a prime, please let us know so that we'll be able to partner you with the primes that are bidding the work. And with that, I believe Patrick would like everyone to drop your name, company, and contact information into the chat so that we have all of your information today for attending this session. So then the next slide is going into some more logistics plans. Brian, were you going to take that slide? Or was it going to be Richard?
I'll let Richard take it. Or actually,
sure. This is a logistics plan showing the location of the site. As Kelsey said, it's in Waukegan, and it is the site of the former Lakehurst Mall. I think the mall was demolished in the late 90s, so a little more than 20 years ago. Do we have another picture locating the site? No, I'll go back to that one then, Zola. But it's up between 41 and the tollway. And what's the cross street up there, Brian?
What was that, Waukegan Road?
Is Waukegan Road, yeah. So near the intersection of Waukegan Road and the tollway.
137.
Right, and then 41 is a little bit to the east. So the first phase of the project, this is a multi-phase project. The project that we're building right now is what is called the temporary. And it's a 70,000 square foot casino. And you can see that we are affecting only part of the site. The entire site is about 40 acres. We're going to be working on a little bit less than 30 acres of that site. And the temporary is just a structure that we're putting up in the short term. The idea is to get the facility up as quickly as possible. While the permanent facility, which is the building that's kind of shaded in purple there, is designed and built. That's really where the majority of the money is going to be spent by the client in the permanent facility. And there, like I said, we're looking at the opening of that facility in about 3 years or so. The temporary facility is, the enclosure of the building is a sprung structure, which is an insulated membrane structure. It's kind of like a high-tech or high-end tent structure. These things go up pretty quickly. We've started to arrive the parts and pieces of it earlier this week. Erection is going to start the next day or so, and that could go up as quickly as about 6 weeks. The site work is pretty much just what you would expect. It's a lot of parking area, about 1,400 spaces. And the idea with most of the site work is that it remains. So the work that is being done north of the temporary building, that's going to remain. In 3 years or so, when the permanent facility is open for operation, the temporary building will most likely be demantled and removed, and this corner of the site will be kind of redeveloped. Inside the building, it's of the 70,000 square feet or so that the building is, about 50,000 square feet of that area is going to be pretty wide open gambling space. It's going to have all the machines and tables that you would normally see at a casino. And at the west end of the building, there's going to be a couple of restaurants. Hold on a second.
So, well, Richard, thank you, Paul. Turner is only focusing on the temporary casino. The future permanent structure that we talked about in this slide over here will be by another general contractor and with the owner. So if you guys have questions on this one, we can absolutely direct you to the owner and answer some questions on that. But for the purpose of this call and future calls, we will be focusing on the phase 1 portion of the work in the temporary casino facility.
Right, inside the building, sorry about that interruption, but so inside the building, 50,000 square feet of gambling space, 2 restaurants. And then there's going to be what they call a back of house area. And the back of house area and the restaurants really are going to be the only what I would call hard construction on the project. That's where the drywall partitions and toilet areas, washrooms, offices, all that kind of stuff is going to be installed and built. That area might total maybe 10,000 square feet.
Awesome.
Okay.
Anything else, Richard, on the building and the structure? I'll jump into bid packages next.
Yeah, let's go on to bid packages.
So we have a rolling bid package schedule coming out this summer with the goal of the temporary structure being built out by the end of the year, correct, Richard?
That's correct.
So coming up in the next week or so, we're looking at millwork. We have this Unistrut ceiling assembly. We're workshopping the name for that bid package, but it's essentially a Unistrut ceiling with hangers that will drop from the sprung structure. So this would be carpenter type work with the Unistrut system attaching to it. So it's not your typical acoustical ceiling tile or soffit ceiling. We do have some acoustical ceiling tiles that we're going to package with our drywall that'll come out a little bit later this summer, midsummer. And then structural steel is also going to go out with the millwork and the Unistrut ceiling assembly packages. We're looking at painting, building signage. We have a handful of different flooring options for installation, fencing and gates, parking lot striping, and then site signage as well. So we're working through finalizing our dates for those packages. So if you have specific questions on dates, please reach out to Zola or myself, and we'll keep you all updated as those dates kind of get more finalized over the next few weeks. But a majority of the major work has been contracted out already as we're on site and working. So we're really looking more for the finishes and final touches on the structure. I will say when we use the word temporary, I feel like that sometimes puts in like a not low end, but this isn't going to be there a while. We're going to remove it at some point. Like this is going to be looking like a full finished building at the end of it. Nice finishes, high-end finishes. The intent is for this temporary structure to be in place for 3 to 5 years while the permanent structure gets up and built. So this is an actual building that we're building, just has some temporary components to it.
Yeah, I think the big focus, if we can go back to that list, use the word finishes. There are a lot of finish work that we haven't quite detailed out. I mean, there's different kinds of flooring packages. There's going to be carpet tile, different kinds of resilient floor tile, might be some vinyl, things like that. We've also got things like toilet compartments and wash accessories and floor mats and things like that. So I think that that's where the greatest opportunities are going to be for the group of people on this call.
Absolutely. We develop those bid packages more and finalize them. We'll be communicating with this group as well. So if you don't see your scope on here, don't worry, it'll most likely be there.
Right, or it'll show up because the design of this project is still being completed and refined. So we don't know everything that's going to be going into the building just yet.
So next steps, if you are a first tier bidder, we will require you guys to have a pre-qual, which you can go to turnerconstruction.com, click becoming a subcontractor. It's this really light gray button at the top of the screen, and then follow the prompts. If you already have a pre-qual with us, just make sure it's updated with your current information. And then we can share some quick guides for first-time users and updates. And then if you have questions, we have a full service desk that will be able to answer any questions you have. We will share a list of the first tier bidders with our second tier subcontractors so that for those who are bidding, so you know who to reach out to. Drawing access will be provided through Building Connected. So ensure that you guys are signed up and have an account claimed with them. If you have specific questions about procurement, getting on our bid lists, things like that, Zola is a great resource, but also here's my contact information. And then Zola has a link on her email, I think, Zola, correct, for you to schedule one-on-one meetings with her, and then she brings in myself and my department as well as we move forward with getting to know you and your companies.
Yes, absolutely. And then I'll be sending out a follow-up email, so I'll have all that information in there.
So that is our presentation. I know it was pretty quick, but I want to open up the floor to any questions that you all may have that in hopes we can answer them for you today. Terrence, looks like you have your hand up.
Yes, how you doing? Thanks for inviting us on. For Terrence Curran with the Amphibious Group, we are a safety consulting service and a occupational medical service. Will you be utilizing those two and expecting bids on those packages?
As we have not anticipated getting bids from that package, but there's a couple of things that we need to consider, and has to do with available manpower. So we might have a conversation about getting some help with safety on the project.
So we'll
Okay,
let
so
you know.
Kelsey. All right, perfect. I was gonna say, Kelsey, do you want me just to send you some details via email, and then we can converse that way?
That'd be fantastic. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Tom, it looks like your hand was up next.
Hi, this is Tom from IGC. We're interior architectural and environmental graphics company. And I'm seeing the signage package here, but I'm not seeing any environmental graphics package, wall covering, privacy glass, that kind of work. Is there something we could? Is that coming directly to the architects, or is there a way that we can take a look at that package?
So painting, and there is going to be some wall covering and some acoustical wall panels, I believe. There's also going to be some signage, but that is one of the last. That's part of the design that has not yet been completed.
Okay.
So we should be expecting to see something, and that is something that we'll be bidding as well.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
Andre, you're next.
Good morning, everyone. Andre Benford from Benford Protection Group. Just had a question about site security for the project, and were you going to actually source for bids for that particular on-site security?
I think that we have someone engaged in the short term, but the owner has a security service in-house that they'll be using to secure the sites for the majority of the time.
Thank you.
Sure.
Andres, you look like you're next.
Hi, my name is Andres Matos with Flood Testing Labs. Thanks for having us. I'm curious, I didn't saw any testing or inspection in the list. Is that going to be run through you or the owner?
What sort of testing and inspection?
Special inspection, concrete, soil, steel, all the welding, that kind of thing.
The owner has already engaged a consultant to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Luis?
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I joined about 10 minutes late. I don't know if you guys expose the packages that will be available, but is there going to be like a general trades packages or general contracting package or just sub trades available?
There most likely will be some sort of a general trades or carpentry type of package. There are some part of the project. So there's the temporary building structure, which is the main part of the work. And in addition to that, there are some called modules that are going to be attached to the building. And inside those modules, there's going to be everything from an administration office to an employee lounge. There's going to be a diner, and also a couple of modules that include kitchens. And all of those modules have to be somehow connected to the building. And there's going to be, just gonna call them kind of corridors with roofs on them and things like that that will need to be built to connect those to the building. That might be some of the scope of work that's part of that general trades package. Also a little bit of roofing. There's also a little bit of masonry that's part of that as well.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Great. Looks like Michelle, you're next.
Hi, I was wondering, is there going to be some spray fireproofing?
I have not seen any of that on the project. It's with the structure, the way it is, as I said, it's an insulated membrane structure.
Mhm.
Those are usually not spray fireproofed.
Right.
And I
Okay.
don't know that there'd be anything like that needed in any of the modular construction.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, Michelle, the structural
Mhm.
steel package that you see on there is
Mhm.
more for the supports within the structure itself, but not part of the actual building structure, which is where the
Okay.
fireproofing would connect on a
Right.
typical like still built building, right? So I
Correct.
think to
Right.
Richard's point, the building's already fireproofed as it stands right now, from what we understand.
Got it. All right. Thank you.
Yep. Andre, did you have another question?
I did not.
Okay.
Apologize if I had my hand back up.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to just double check.
Thank
John,
you.
it looks like you're next.
I'm sorry, did you say John?
Yes, I said John. Sorry. Yes.
Hello. Are there any electrical low voltage technology opportunity?
Go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, we currently have the high voltage package on the packages on the street, which includes some low voltage. We can certainly share with you who those bidders are. If you'd like to reach out to them and provide them with proposals.
That would be fantastic. Are you requiring those primes to have participation?
The participation that was outlined earlier, those are goals. And those goals are for the entire project, all of the phases. So we're asking everyone to just make a best effort. And we are asking the primes to include as much minority participation as possible.
That's fantastic. If you could share the shortlisted primes for the electrical low voltage, that would be fantastic.
Okay.
Great. Taj?
Good morning. Thanks for the invite. Excuse my voice. This is Roxana Daniel. I'm home with a head cold. I heard about the participation. I'm wondering, is there any LGBT certification goals or participation that could happen? One, and when he said best effort, I'm asking what would be considered best effort for that participation, for minority participation?
So right now, we don't have any LGBT goals outlined on the job. So if you are certified as an LGBT BE, you would not count towards those goals unless you have an MWV or DBE participation. And then what we mean by best efforts is we're asking for all subcontractors to outline their diversity program for the job. And as long as they've shown that they have solicited 2 MBEs and have and Turner has also solicited MBE or diverse subcontractors on our at the prime level as well. And then going through the normal bid scoping and leveling process and providing feedback. Our goal is to hit those goals, but if there is a chance that we fall short of it, we just need to show that we've done our due diligence and have given the opportunities out there for contractors to have a shot at the piece of the work.
Thank you.
Yep. Randall?
Thank you. So my question kind of piggybacks on John's question about low voltage systems and communication around that. In addition, the security, CCTV, and access control will be a component of this as well. Are those bids out on the street? And can we find an opportunity to get whoever may be the prime on those?
Yeah, so electrical, low voltage, and security from the infrastructure side are out on the street right now, and we can absolutely share with you the list of prime bidders for those packages.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much.
Yep. Roger?
Yeah, hi, good morning. This is Roger from Cardinal State. We're a MBE landscape company. I had a question about the drawings. On the erosion control sheets, this has topsoil seeding blankets, and the landscape drawings have all those parking lot islands, trees, shrubs, and stuff. Are we bidding out, is the seeding blanket stuff temporary and then we're doing the landscape, or am I just bidding on the landscape stuff?
I would suggest for that question to send your question over to Cyan, and then she can help direct you towards what we're bidding for this project, since that's out on the street right now.
Perfect, thank you.
Yep, no problem. Any other questions? Oh, Taj, it looks like you, sorry, I missed your first name. You cut out before.
It's Roxana. I'm sorry.
My apologies. Go ahead.
For some reason, my the chat isn't showing up on my side today. Is somewhere I can send my information in? And since you asked for everybody to put in their email in the chat, I'm not able to. It's not sure popping up for me.
Absolutely. If you want to, go ahead, Zola.
If I could respond to that. So, actually, Taj, I have, or I'm sorry, what did you say your first name was again?
It's Roxana.
Roxana. So I have your email. I have your contact information, and so if I emailed you, then I have your information, and I have your information as you are on this call. So I really don't need don't worry about that. You're gonna get the follow-up communication that will include contact information and all of that. And you have my email address. So if you're on this call, you have my contact information, so you can always reach out to me, and I'm pretty responsive.
Okay, that's great. And then also Building Connected, since we're already in there, you guys will send through that as well, correct?
Correct. The invitation to bid goes out.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. I'm just scrolling through the chat real quick. I think the last question was from Jason about the Illinois Gaming Board set no diversity goals, diversity and inclusion only aspirational. The goals that were outlined have come from the owner and their agreement and commitment to the Illinois Gaming Board, correct, Richard?
That is correct. This is included in their agreement with the Illinois Gaming Commission. So those are the goals.
And then to answer your question on if it's only aspirational, no, we're gonna hit. We're doing our best effort to meet these goals and to have diverse participation. This job isn't going to have 0%, but what we're saying is there's no financial recourse if these goals are not met.
Yeah, I think if your question is whether it's a requirement, no, it is a goal. But Turner is committed to achieving its goals on the projects, and that's been our history, and that's the integrity that we use in terms of moving forward on every project.
Randall and Roger, I'm assuming your hands are just still up from your previous questions.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, if there's no other questions, thank you all for joining us today. Like Zola said, she'll send out a follow-up email with the link to this presentation, the recording, and then any follow-up information that she'll share with you all. So again, thank you all for attending. We appreciate you taking the time to join us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a great